Re-
Hola,
Mhm. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing, Darwin? It's good to see you.
Good to see you too. Where are you guys at?
I'm actually at the entry of my home, so welcome to Casa Bella.
Okay, awesome. That's good. That's good. Hey, sorry I sent you the link late. I know that was
No worries. It's all good.
no worries. Got you. Okay, so we got about 30 minutes, 30 to 40 minutes. I mean, perhaps thank you for coming in. I know you're a busy woman. I know. I see you working every day, 7 days a week, 24 hours. Which is good. I'm not criticizing. That's always good. So to start with, who is Karina? How did you get started in business? And where you at now?
So what a great question, Darwin. First of all, thank you for having me as your guest this evening. And I am Karina Casel. I am from Quito, Ecuador. I'm an immigrant. I, came with my family to this country in 1984. I actually landed in Odessa, Texas. My stepfather was with oil and petroleum. So there we were from the city, the capital, into this, landfill of, Odessa, Texas.
Hmm, that's
And
good.
so yeah, life was great. My stepfather changed on us as we landed because he lost his job and so lost everything. So he became very alcoholic and an abusive stepfather. And so one day I remember coming home from school. I was in the ninth grade. And I remember walking up to our 2-bedroom apartment because we had lost everything. And as I come up to the house, my stepfather's on top of my mom and he's beating her up. And so I was like, enough is enough. I grabbed a cast iron pan and I hit him with it.
Right.
Yeah. So I ushered my brothers and my mom out of the apartment. I'm like, call the police, call for help. And so as we did that, the police officers came and they're like, okay, whose name is on the lease? And so my drunken stepfather, with a big bruise on his head, wakes up from his drunken and says, my name. And so they immediately grabbed us, didn't help my mother. They took us and dumped us into a police car and dropped us into the homeless shelter, which we were like, what just happened?
Wow.
What in the world is going on? We barely spoke any English. We didn't understand the laws, what was going on. And so there goes my first real estate lesson. The name on a contract matters. The ownership on a place matters. And so I told my mom, I said, hey, 2 weeks and we are out of here. And so that's how I began, having this hunger for real estate and understanding the whole process. How can I get better at this? How can I help my family, help our livelihood, and get us out of this mess that we were in? Because in Ecuador, I lived a very privileged life. I had maids, I had chauffeurs, we had a beautiful mansion. It was a different lifestyle. And so definitely things in the environment had completely turned upside down for us. So we were in a new world, an unknown world for us. So, turn over to today, that was 1984. And now we're probably roughly 39 years after. We're a successful businesswoman. I'm happily married with my husband. And so we're in real estate. We've been in real estate successful for the past, 30 years. And so now we own a lot of real estate, a lot of multifamily that we own, as well as commercials and single family properties. And so life is good. Life is really good.
That's good. I mean, that was interesting. We didn't get to talk about all of this, right? When we met. So when do you meet your husband? When do you go full force on real estate? Did you go to college and then kind of like try the real estate, or you just like ever since that moment you were like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do?
So I tell you what, a great question. It was trials and tribulations through the whole thing. But in 1988, I graduated out of Permian High School. So go Mojo, right? And so when I graduated, we were 1 year apart with my brothers. And so when my brother that followed me, I was the second girl. And then the third boy was born. He was 1 year after me. So when he graduated, I was like, the U-Haul was packed. He's like, I'm walking down stage. I said, okay, we're not celebrating, buddy. get in the car. I loaded the family. Everything was packed, and it's like, let's just get out of Odessa. There was too many bad memories, just terrible environment. And we were like, let's get out of this. Let's go to the city. And so we drove from Odessa, ended up in Arlington, Texas. And so as we did, we ended up in a tiny little house. I don't know if you're familiar with Arlington, but right across St. Matthew's Church on Lovers Lane.
I lived
So
there. I lived in Dallas, so I'm familiar with the DFW area, you
did
know.
you? Okay, cool, cool. So yeah, and so we ended up renting a tiny little house with my mother and decided, you know what, turn the chapter, let's start fresh, let's go at this again. And so I was working for a chiropractor at that time when I graduated high school, and he called in a favor for me, so I was able to get a job here with a chiropractor. And so, you know, and then after that, I started taking my classes as an interior designer for Miss Wade at the World Trade Center. So I was driving from Arlington to Dallas to get my education. And in doing that, my chiropractor comes to me and says, hey, you know what? I'm closing the doors. My mother and I were about to buy our first house right behind Lovers Lane on Tucker Street. And as we did this, my chiropractor was like, hey, I'm going on 6-month retirement. I'm getting married. I'm closing. I'm like, no, just wait 2 weeks. And he says, no, here's 6 months paid up front. Off you go. And yeah. So there I was calling my real estate agent saying, okay, I can't buy the house. You know, I just got unemployed. And, you know, he says, no, come with us, come work with us. I'm like, I don't know anything about real estate. He goes, you can work in front desk. You'll be fine. I said, okay. So a leap of faith, off I went, and I started working as a front desk receptionist. So that
How old
was,
were you here?
this was, so I was 17, 18 years old.
Okay.
And so 1989, I started working for this biggest real estate company here in Arlington called Center 21 Sutherland. And my husband, my now husband, came in as a rookie agent. He just had his real estate license. He came in as a, you know, new agent into the market. And so that's really where we met at our first real estate office.
That's
Yeah.
good. So 18 years old, you're working pretty much as front desk. When do you decide, okay, I'm going to go into the selling area? I'm going to go into operations. When did that happen?
So as I was driving back and forth to Dallas, I was in this horrific car wreck. And so I came into the office once, this was at the age of 19. I came into the office and they had a huge, a tall order for dress code. If you had to wear a dress, you had to wear heels, you had to wear penny heels, you had to look like a pretty little girl or you didn't work there.
Yeah.
I mean, times have now changed, right?
Yeah.
But at that time, it was a lot required. So I came in all banged up, you know, had a brace, had, you know, my tennis shoes on, my hair was all messed up. And so the broker of the company looked at me and he says, what are you doing? I said, I'm here to work. I said, I got in a wreck, so I'm a little bit late. And he says, oh no, you're fired. I said, don't fire me. I need the job. I need the income for my family. He said, I don't care. You're fired. And so as I walked into the parking lot, I was crying. And, you know, Jeff, my now husband, sees me in the parking lot. He's like, what is going on? I said, well, I was just in a wreck and I just lost my job. And he goes, what in the world? So he says, okay, go home. It's fine. Don't worry about it. You'll come back and work for me. I said, you can't afford me. He goes, yes, we'll make it work. So then I left my job as a receptionist and started working as an assistant for him. And so I started to learn a little bit about real estate and started to helping more and more prospecting, door knocking, doing whatever it takes, doing flyers, doing mailers, doing all his admin work. So it was great. And that's actually how we met and kind of started this gig. I got my license in 1996. Yeah, 1996.
Okay. So you worked alongside with him pretty much for about 10 years, pretty much 12 years.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And then what do you think were the biggest pieces that you learned while you were building with him? Because you were door knocking, you were doing marketing, you were learning each step. Like, what do you think was the biggest takeaway that helped you now in your real estate career full time?
I tell you what, so my husband comes from a very business background. He was in marketing and business admin. And so for him, he was always keeping the momentum. So we call it keeping the pipeline full. And for us, he was always prospecting. Because if you're not prospecting, you don't have any prospects, you don't have any income, you don't have any transactions going on. So for us, it was the constant day-to-day prospecting, door knocking, phone calls, whatever it took to get the business coming in. Because he was really a brand new agent at that time. So we did a lot of grassroots efforts, a lot of, getting the business cranking, getting the business going. Now that we're established, we get the business much easier, right? There's people that know us as repeat referral. But at that time, there's a lot of sweat equity, boy. Up early in the morning, I mean, huge discipline, high standards, 7 days a week, whatever it took to get a paycheck coming in.
Yeah. No, especially since, I mean, real estate is full commission, right?
That's
So,
right.
yeah, I love what you said about the pipeline, because many businesses overall are just focus on like stressing over the customers they already have, instead of like, if you're focusing just on one client and one-on-one issue, it means that you don't have enough issues. You should always be putting more on the top line.
Not just that, but that's a good, analogy, Darwin. It kind of puts you into control motion, because if you have all these customers to take care of, you're not going to bend at the first, I want to jump ship, I want to quit doing business with you. It's okay. You have the momentum going that, if we can't work together, it's okay, buddy. Go on. I'll work with the next family that does need my services, that is willing to do what I ask them to do to move forward.
Huh. Yeah.
It puts you.
Yeah. No, I mean, at the end of the day, you're building a value for yourself, right? Like, you consider yourself valuable. So the people that see the value in you, like, you're more prompted to work with, and you're more excited, and it's more fun. That's what business is.
Absolutely. I mean, I tell you, there's nothing more inspirational than working with someone that, doesn't want to work with you. I mean, all my customers, I tell them, look, you have the choice to work with me. So we'll enter into a contract, whether it's a buyer rep agreement or a listing agreement. But if they choose not to work with me, no harm, no foul. Go ahead. I'd rather let them go than continue with that, experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely want it all to be on a high. You want it to all be positive, because that generates more repeat referral business as well.
Yeah, no, that's good. Karina, what will you tell somebody who wants to start on real estate after all this 30 plus years of experience that you have? What will you tell them? Like, many people tell me, I've heard this comment before. Yeah, I want to get into real estate, but I don't have any money. Yeah, I want to get into real estate, but I want to do it later. Like, what will you tell that person?
So I would tell them a couple of things. First of all, yes, you definitely need some kind of backbone, some kind of savings. But then I would tell you immediately, reach out to a mentor, reach out to someone that myself, like Jeff and I, and come and mentor with us. Because guess what? We've been there, we've done that. And many times we've bought the t-shirt. So we have a lot of bruises from our lessons. But guess what? We can help you streamline the lessons and get faster and better at it quicker. But more than that, it's really just, if you have a savings account that will help you until you build your business, you're going to be in a much better position.
Yeah.
But a mentor will guide you, will oversee the contracts that you do, and walk with you step by step through the different transactions, so you can learn faster and get better quicker at it.
How long do you think it takes somebody that has no skills to get good at real estate?
Skills is easy to learn. I would tell you, there's so much information out there, like in YouTube, for example, there's so much free information. But I would tell you, somebody that has the will, the heart to do it, I would say minimum 6 months, 6 months to a year.
6 months to a year. That's good.
Yeah, because for example, with our real estate company, there is so many transactions that come, residential or commercial or multifamily or property management. So there's different avenues that you can go, different directions. You can go new development as well. So all of that you see through our company, and this good experience for you. Versus some real estate companies, they don't allow property management. Some real estate companies, they don't allow new developments there. So you have to go somewhere where they offer everything available to you, because then you can choose and pick what direction you feel the most, what direction you have more passion to serve your customers in.
What's the direction that you took?
So for us, we make the perfect fit, because I handle real estate. So I do single family. My husband does all the commercial. And so it works out perfect.
That's good. That's good. You guys complement each other. That takes me to the other question. You're a family business, you operate with your husband. Many people have a hard time working with family. So how do you keep a great business going, but also keep a great relationship at home with your husband?
And I tell you, such an awesome question, right? Because I tell you, we have our good days and we have our bad days. Some days I win, some days he wins. But at the end of the day, I tell you, we do not go to bed mad. right? Because that's the ultimate no-no. So, and after being in business together for more than 30 years, guess what? It's an issue that you understand. You know each other's strengths and each other's weaknesses, and you know how to complement each other, like you said. So we sound off of each other very, very well. And so it works out very well for us. We started with job descriptions. I remember at the very beginning, so it's like, this is what you're responsible. This is what I'm responsible for. And so when we take on customers, we had our business morning meetings. And so we were able to easily tell who's going to do what and who's going to be responsible for what. And so, but for us, after doing it for 30 years, we have so many highs, so many lows that we know what works best for the two of us.
Yeah. Sounds like you guys set expectations and then.
Yes. Oh, my husband, very business driven. My husband, yes, absolutely. Goals are set, expectations are set. Yes, to-do list, you bet, definitely. And I'm a checklist type of chica. I got to make sure all my books are ready to go, my signs are ready to go, all that good stuff.
It's funny how our habits in business just transferred to our personal lives as well, huh?
Absolutely. And that's what makes us a success, because people will see us and, oh, Karina helped such and such family. And Jeff will be like, she did a good job. Yeah, she did a good job. So it works out really, really well.
Yeah, that's good. What's been your biggest hurdle in business and how did you came out on top?
That's an interesting story. I'm glad you asked that question. Tell you, 2008, when the market crashed, we were actually building a dream home, Casa Bella. Here we are today. And so I remember our mentor at that time said, Jeff and Karina, if you want to succeed, go through it, continue on with it, with the build job, continue on building your dream home. Because guess what? If you build it, they will come. And if you build it, you will be very successful at what you want. Because we had been dreaming about this property for the past, I think it was 10 or 15 years, in fruition, in photos that we took, in different tours that we did. And so this was it. This was our zen. This was our beautiful place. And so I remember our mentor said, you know what, go through with it, make it happen. And so we did, sink or swim. We're going for it. And so here we are. It's 10,000 square feet. And it's a beautiful Tuscan Italian property that we absolutely love coming home to.
Oh, that's awesome. So you built it right at when the market went all the way down.
Yeah. So actually, check this out. Our foundation was laid on. They were just about to put the sticks and start, the sticks built all the way around the house. And really, so it was time we can either jump ship and call it quits. And like I said, our mentor said, go through it, do it all. And so we did. And so we were so grateful we finished the property.
Oh, that's awesome. Hey, and it's more awesome that you actually have a person that's there to tell you, hey, you got to stay on track. Many people don't count with that.
And I tell you, it's so valuable for us because, the people you surround yourself will either help you, pull you up, or will absolutely destroy you. And for us, the people that we surround ourselves with are people that we can talk real estate, people can mentor us, people that we can travel with, people that we can enjoy good dinners together with. So it's so important who you surround yourself with.
Yeah, that takes me to the other point. That's super important what you mentioned, the people that you surround yourself with. So what's your take on mentors, and when do you decide, okay, this is the right mentor for me? Because I hear a lot of bad advice out there that people are just taking just because X or Y person is saying it. So when do you decide, okay, this is the right mentor? And when do you decide, okay, this is the right advice I should take?
That's another good question. For us, it seems like through our entire life, career in real estate, we've always had a mentor or a coach, as we call it. And I think when the relationship became very friendly, we got off our accountability, off our numbers, and off our scheduled calls. We're like, oh, okay, you know what? This has been great knowing you, but friends are friends, business is business. We need to step out and get a different coach. And so we were actually working with one of the biggest real estate coaching agencies out there, we started with the father first, right? So Mike Ferry. And then and working with those coaches. And then when things, became really, really friendly, we're like, okay. And we weren't talking business. We were talking more, plans on vacation and things like that. We're like, you know what? This is not in sync with where we want to go. So we would immediately cut that relationship, began with a new coach. And so that's how we have kept going, because if you're not growing, guess what? You're standing still. Things are not working. You have to continue to grow.
That's interesting. How many mentors have you guys had through all this time?
So probably, I would say 5 or 6 people. I remember at the very beginning, one of our mentors said, "Hey, let's talk about a dream board. Where do you guys see yourselves in regards to a house, in regards to automobiles, in regards to vacations? Where do you see that? What do you think the future will bring?" And
Mm,
so we're like, we definitely want a family. We definitely want to build our own home. My husband's a car crazy fanatic. And so we definitely needed a big garage for all our toys. And so we're like, gotta have this, gotta have this, gotta have that. And so he says, okay, put it all into a dream board and look at it every day, every morning when you go to work, every afternoon when you come home, look at it. And so I think that's what helped us keep the carrot going, keep the torch going. You know what? This is doable. We can do this. So no matter what happened, ups or downs in our business, we knew what the plan was. We knew what the future was going to bring to us. And so we kept going. We kept working our plan because we knew once we worked our plan, we were going to get exactly what we dreamed. And here we are.
That's good. I love it. They say the plan works, but not everybody works the plan.
Yes. And that's a shame. You know what? Because people believe into this drunk monkey or this negative talk instead of keep working it, believe in yourself. It doesn't matter what your competitors are doing. It doesn't matter what's happening all around us, right? It
Yeah.
only matters what you believe in and what you're doing.
It's all noise. It's all
That's
noise.
right. That's right.
If you were to start this game of business again, what would you do differently?
I think I would keep all the properties we sold because when the market changed, we thought, oh my gosh,
Oh my God.
we needed to continue to make cash flow, right? We had all these other expenses, all these other dreams we had. And so we said, okay, let's sell our 3, 4, 5 properties so we can get that cash income and continue our cash flow.
Yeah.
And so we insured, first of all, let me go back for a moment because my husband's so smart. So as we bought properties, he made them all being paid within 15 years. So no matter what happened, those properties were going to be paid off. And so some properties were paid off, and then those that weren't are the ones that we sold, and then we took the money and paid those off, so we had no debt. All our property was our own property 100%. And so we can continue this solid cash flow. And no matter what happened, we were going to continue to get steady income throughout.
Yeah. No, that was smart. That was smart. I mean, it complements each other, like you said.
We really do. I'm so grateful to have him. I mean, if he was here today, he would tell you the same thing. I hope so, but I'm
Yeah.
crazy about him.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. And I'm sure he feels the same way about you. I mean, just when I met you guys, you remember when we were at the seating arrangement, I was like,
At the 10X, dude.
exactly,
10X.
exactly. And at the best event that we could meet, I was like, after 5 minutes of talking to you guys, I was like, I have to meet these people. I have to get to know them. I got to learn from them. It was great. So grateful for going that day on that seat because it was not even my seat. So I was in the wrong.
I know, right? No,
Yeah.
but I loved your energy. I mean, Darwin, you are wonderful. You're very handsome. You're very energetic. And you were just like, let's do this. Let's do this. I mean, I just love that energy and that passion you display. That's wonderful.
No, that's awesome. And I love it. I love the same energy that you guys have because you guys have the energy that a 20-year-old. I've seen 20-year-olds with the energy, with a whole complete different energy. You guys have a better energy than them. I was like, wow. When I get older, I want to have that same energy. I want to be that. I want to graduate all that stuff. But what's your best year, Karina? What's the biggest crew you have built? What's the biggest sell of your life?
So, I remember back 2005, we actually had 30 employees. It was nuts. We were actually selling property in California, in New York, in Miami. My husband was out speaking engagements. He would bring home, 30, 40, 60 properties that we had to immediately go out and purchase, immediately turnkey, ready to go. So, and what that means is, so we bought brand new property and we dressed it up so it was ready to rent. So it would have mini blinds, it would have a small appliance package. It was ready to go. So garage door opener, mini blinds, kitchen, refrigerator, dishwasher, ready to go. Sometimes they threw in the washer and dryer, but so it was ready to lease. So we would take the money from California, go shopping immediately, buy the property, turn it into a property management company. And it was like A, B, C, boom, close, go to the next one, go to the next one. So he would come and say, hey, I have 500 to spend. I'm like, okay, let's go shopping. So work the phones, work certain subdivisions. It was insane.
Wow.
And so right after that, the market started tapering. We're like, oh, something big's going to happen. Something big's going to happen. And so, as you know, then the market crashed, of course. And then so after that, we decided with my husband, you know what? It has been go, 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 fast pace, fast pace. So we decided, let's take things down a notch. Because, when you're working so hard, you almost miss the relationship. The part of our marriage was kind of like drifting apart. And so we said, you know what? Okay, it's time for us to let go of everybody. We cleaned house. And now, it was just my husband and I, and we took 30 days off to kind of rekindle our romance, our love affair, right?
Yeah.
And so then we came back to business fresh, ready to go. And so it was a good ride, and then it was a good comeback. So that was one of our best years.
That's good. That's good. I mean, there's always time that you need for yourself and for your significant other, right? I mean, or family.
Gotta refurbish, absolutely.
Yeah. So how do you keep this energy going? I know this question was not in the questions that I sent you, but how do you keep you being you? I'm interested.
That's something else that separates my husband and I, because I am definitely a morning person. So I'm up at 4 a.m. and I'm doing my affirmations, and I'm doing my, my goals with my partner out of Wisconsin. So she's kind of crazy about it too. And so at 4 a.m. in the morning, she's yelling out loud what her goals are. I'm yelling out loud what our goals are. And then we both check in. She checks into the gym. I check into the gym, and that's our go-to,
Yeah.
What happens with so I call her my accountability partner. And so if you miss, you have to pre-write her a check. Well, you write her 5 checks of $1,000 each. And so if you miss one, she'll send it off to your biggest enemy. So at one point I was like, don't like Barack Obama. And so I had to write a check to Barack Obama and pre-send those to her. And so if I miss, you get to send that check, fold it, and mail it to Barack Obama's campaign. And so you have to deliver, or you pay the price.
Exactly.
And then my husband, on the other hand, he likes to work super late hours. I mean, he's good through 10, 11, 12 o'clock. He's good to go. So I think that's what upsets us as well, that when I'm in the office by myself, working things, my plan, and when he's there, I'm gone. I'm usually out with appointments, so that also upsets us. Works out very well.
Mm-hmm. So you would say your accountability partner is super important for you?
Yes.
Cool. Yeah, because can a mentor be an accountability partner, or it has to be 2 different people, huh?
I think it's 2 different people, because what you want in an accountability partner is not just a friend or a buddy, but you want somebody that's actually going to hold it really tight to your neck. You know what I mean? Because you can't be afraid. And if you miss, your check is gone. You can't say, oh, Darwin, it's okay, I forgive you this time, I won't send you a check. No. The deal is you send it if you miss, and the discipline is there. And so it holds you accountable to discipline, to getting up every morning, to doing what you said, and the promises that you made to yourself, right? And so, but then a mentor is different, because a mentor looks at the overall goal. Where are you? Where do you want to be in the future? Well, how many transactions do you want to do? What are your numbers like? So then you break that down per month, per week. Where are you at? So if you're hiring staff, how much staff do you need? How much? Everything that you need. So it's all in small doses, right? So then come year end, you can say, oh my gosh, I did it. I did it first quarter, second quarter, third quarter. We did it. Yes. Or you can say, oh gosh, we're completely derailed. We are off the plan. And so he can quickly bring you back and say, get back to work, back to the business plan.
Yeah.
So different people. Accountability is different than your mentor. Mentor is somebody that's more business driven, that's looking at the overall picture. Because sometimes you could be derailed working on one transaction and you miss it. You miss the rest of the goals that you set. And the mentor is holding you accountable to everything you made, all the promises that you said you were going to complete and fulfill.
Mm-hmm. And you get another angle too, right? Because when you're getting just the same advice from the same person, it kind of gets old. But if you hear it from multiple people, it's like, okay, I got to do it.
That's right.
What do you think about people that say, oh, I'm not a morning person?
To each their own. But I mean, for me, it works out beautifully, because I mean, I need my 30, 40 minutes that I can focus on myself, on my mental psychic, on my mindset, that I can get my day going. Okay. So for me, it's good music, it's affirmations, it's reading my 30 minutes a day, because otherwise I don't get it done. And so if my morning gets derailed, it's like I don't have the proper dress on. I don't feel complete. I'm not 100% there for my customer. But if my morning is complete, my day is like untouchable. You know, I'm like going and nobody's gonna stop me. It's
That's
awesome.
because you take care of yourself first, so you can show up
That's
100%.
your spirit. You know, I'm a Catholic little girl, so I mean, I still have to do my prayers. And so it's so important for you to fulfill everything that you need to do. It's like drinking water in the morning. Gotta drink water in the morning just to make sure your body's running at full percent.
Yeah.
It matters.
Yeah, that's true. Karina, what are your goals for the end of this year, for 2023? What are your goals? What is that looking like?
So I tell you what, I'm excited you asked that question, because right now we're redevelopment. So we have 2 commercial buildings that we are transforming completely. They were built in the 1970s. And right now the building is obsolete. There's no elevators. There's only stairs. It just doesn't make sense for the business day in and day out office. So what we're doing is we are actually building the best, the latest, the greatest office building. So it's going to have podcasts, it's going to have commercials, it's going to have TV space. It's going to be unbelievable. It's going to have a catering kitchen, so you can do training at the same time. And so we're actually from having, what are we, 20, 40 offices that are very large offices, right? That just don't make sense. Even if you cut the AC, you may not get air. It's just awful. We're going to change it to where we're probably going to look at 250 offices now. It's going to be wonderful. It's going to be a beautiful entry building where you're going to be able to do anything you want. If you want to do a seminar, you can do a training or seminar easy. For the traveling salesperson, you have a mailbox. If you want us to host all your mail, you have that. And you can, for the world, you can pretend that's your building. So it's going to be state of the art. I am so excited about this building. So we're going through the city council motions right now. And so it takes a while to get through past all of that. But soon we'll get to start construction, and I just cannot wait. We've been at this game for 5 years, so I'm so excited to get that ready to go.
That's good. It's set to complete by the end of the year?
No, we haven't started. It's going to be 24, what is it?
Okay.
Yeah, 24 months to build it.
24
So
months to build it.
we're going to start in the next couple of months, I hope.
Yeah, no, that's good. Karina, thank you so much for coming in. I've learned a ton, especially with the expectation side and the accountability partner, because many times we use our coach as our accountability partner. I think many of us are missing perspective.
Yes, you are.
And then,
but you can also get good friends that have your same mindset and hold each other to a higher standard and help each other through accountability, because that's exciting.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, for sure. I mean, sometimes you need better friends, right? They say, I heard it in the conference. They say, I don't want friends, I want allies, because allies will do what's best for me.
That's right.
Friends will just.
You keep upgrading your friends, right? Keep upgrading your friends.
Exactly. And reinforces my morning routine, because sometimes in the morning I'm like, oh, but I do it anyway, but now hearing you telling me that, I have no excuse.
And you're young, and I know you got it. I know you can do it. Darwin, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for this. I love meeting you. I hope we get together later on.
Marina,
maybe have dinner, share
I'm
a little
actually
bit
gonna be in Dallas next week, so we can get
Perfect.
together. Yeah, I need to check on my location there, so we can get together maybe for dinner or lunch. Let's talk with your husband, and then we can arrange something.
That sounds beautiful, my friend. Thank you so much for today.
Thank you so much. I'll see you.
Take care. Bye-bye.